So I'm very excited for the episode today because I have my good friend Anne with me.
My name is Anne. I own Ann Adams and Associates Realty. I've been in business a little over 20 years. And
The wealth of information, whenever I call Anne or Mike, I get so much of knowledge. And
yeah, both Mike and I love Kiran. He's awesome. I believe that if the rates go up higher, we're going to see some owner carry scenarios.
pay me $10,000 that I can use to buy down the rate. So you can buy down the rate to as low as 3%, which is 3% lower than the prevailing market rate. So work with the real estate agent to get that much of concession so that your rate will be coming to the affordable range. Most of the residential mortgages are now coming with no prepayment penalty.
But if you work with somebody with not a lot of experience, you could miss out on some of these opportunities that are available.
All right, so I'm very excited for the episode today because I have my good friend Anne with me. I started my real estate right behind Anne. Like whatever she does, and year after that, I try to do it. So Anne, I'm so happy that you chose to join
Thank you.
our conversation.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So introduce yourself.
My name is Anne. I own Ann Adams and Associates Realty. I've been in business a little over 20 years, and it's an ever-changing market right now, for sure.
20 years in the business, and I know there was a time when you and me were meeting almost like every week or maybe multiple times a week
Yeah.
to brainstorm, figure out what the market is and what are the best practices in the business. There was a time wherein your husband was actually referring to me with a nickname. Is that true?
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yes. So he Anne's husband is it?
Oh,
Home
yeah, you
inspector.
were my boyfriend for a while.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I forgot about that. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
So Anne and Mike are like a wealth of knowledge because he's a licensed inspector. He was doing a lot of contracting work. You've done a lot of flips. So the reason I bring Mike's information here is because the wealth of information. Whenever I call Anne or Mike, I get so much of knowledge and a lot of my background or experience with construction or contracting, repairing stuff, roof. I got it from Mike mostly, and then of course Anne taught me a lot about the business.
Yeah, both Mike and I love Kiran. He's awesome.
Thank you. So now I'm actually trying to close the loop. We have Sunil who's been gathering all the questions from the consumers. I wanted to bring Anne and Sunil together because I've been giving answers to his questions, but I really wanted to get a third dimension because Anne has a lot of experience and I want her to pitch in and I wanted to see her insight on a lot of these things. So Sunil, so you're ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, what are your questions? So we can get started. And by the way, before you start, can you tell me the feedback? Have you been receiving any feedback from the episodes that we've done for first time buyers?
So a lot of people have been going through the videos and they are loving the depth of the knowledge that we are sharing with them. The feedback has been really great and people are loving it.
Okay, great. So shoot away. So what's your next question?
Yeah. So I'll start with welcoming Anne. Thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us
nice
because
to meet you.
Kiran has 20 plus years of experience in the real estate and now we have 20 more years of experience and whatever I have been learning from him, it's been mind blowing. So it's like
Thank
the
you.
knowledge just doubled here. We have double the experience and it will be really helpful with, for the community. So we will move to the next question. It's like someone has asked, what are some of the options to get lower interest rates in the current market?
We're seeing a lot of negotiating with a rate buy down where you ask the seller to pay maybe $10,000 and it'll buy your rate down. I believe that if the rates go up higher, we're going to see some owner carry scenarios and we're going to write some contracts with wraps. And what that is where somebody that you're buying from, they might have a 3% rate, and like, let's say the interest rates go all the way up to 10%. Maybe they'll pick a rate somewhere in the middle of like 6 or 7%, and wrap the loan, and you'll give them a substantial down payment, and then it'll make it more affordable for you. So for right now, all I'm seeing is rate buy downs. I've only once tried to do this wrap scenario with someone, and it didn't come through, but I did write my first contract trying to get a seller with a 3% rate to offer my buyer like a 5% rate with $100,000 down payment and then it was a 5-year arm in order to be able to make the payment monthly a little more affordable than it is with us. I think, what are the rates now? 6.25%?
Yeah, around 6.25%. Yeah, there are multiple ways. First thing is the buyers need to have a mindset that, hey, I'm ready to buy the house. If they have that mindset, then there is a lot of options that open up. First is like how Anne said, if the property is listed for 500, you can negotiate with the seller and say, okay, pay me $10,000 that I can use to buy down the rate. So you can buy down the rate to as low as 3%, which is 3% lower than the prevailing market rate. So that is the standard seller concessions, you can buy it down. Then there is options for 3-2-1 buy down, wherein you can expedite it, wherein for 3 years, the rate will be lower.
Okay.
Or an option will be, I mean, in this example, let's say for 3-2-1 buy down, for the 3-year wherein the rate is lower, you might have to pay $15,000 or the seller is paying $15,000. Another step down from that is 2-1 buy down, which is for 2 years, it will be lower. On the third year on, it will just reset to what the prevailing market is. Then 1-0 buy down is wherein for 1 year it will be lower. So that is one option. The other option is traditional adjustable rate mortgages that we always had, wherein if it's a 5-year arm, that means for 5 year it's low and the 6th year it's going to reset. See, with all these options and the opportunities, the new builders are giving a lot of incentives. And the buyers who are just shutting their ears and saying, oh, the interest rate high, I'm not going to buy, are missing out on big time opportunities, don't you think?
Yeah, no, they are because prices have come down by 50 to 100 grand almost on every property that's out there. And if you think 6.25% is too high, wait till it gets to 12%, and then you'll be kicking yourself because you didn't do something, and still you're probably going to be paying less monthly to buy than you are to rent in a majority. I mean, from what I can see, especially
because the rents are going up.
Yeah.
So I mean, your question is what are the options to reduce the rate, but I'm actually going one extra mile on that, saying, okay, now you're crying about 6 or 5%, but it could go even higher. The way the Fed news is coming out, it could go even higher. If it goes higher, plus your rent is going higher, then it doesn't make sense to keep renting anymore. So that's the thing that the buyers have to pay attention to. You have to have a mindset to buy. If you have a mindset to buy, talk to a mortgage broker, and then they'll be able to tell you which options that you can get, like how much payment you can afford, and then work with the real estate agent to get that much of concession so that your rate will be coming to the affordable range. People think, oh, I'm paying $1,500 or $2,000 rent, that's the payment I want. Say that to the realtor, say that to the mortgage broker. With the real estate agent and the mortgage broker working together is where the magic happens. Otherwise, if you are just shying away, you'll be missing out the opportunity.
Okay.
And the best quote for real estate is, don't wait to buy then wait. And if you ask any 80-year-old you would ever meet, do you regret buying that first house, even if it might have been at 16%? And they'll tell you no all day long. Because, as rates go up, prices kind of adjust and come down. So, you can't win on both ends ever. So
that is true.
Just jump in and take a risk when you're ready, because real estate, I know Kiran would agree, is one of the best investments you'll ever make.
Yes, and we talked about this also, right? It's cyclical. Yeah, the prices could crash and then it could go down next year, but then we saw it bounce back. It happened multiple times. It goes down and keeps bouncing back. But if you are renting it, then the landlord is never going to offer you extra money because the home prices have doubled or something, the apartment prices. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question on that. So let's say the 3-2-1 approach that you suggested. If you go for that, are you locking like that term, and can you refinance during that time?
Yes, that's a great question. most of the residential mortgages are now coming with no prepayment penalty. There was a time in 2008, before the recession time, there is a lot of prepayment penalties. The lenders, the banks were offering more commission to the mortgage loan officers who offer prepayment penalty, meaning that if the loan is refinanced before the term, then there is a penalty to the homeowner. So now there is no prepayment penalty. So that means you can refinance anytime.
Okay.
I did a video, you should watch it on Buydown. It's in my YouTube channel. Just search for Buydown with my name, you'll find it. You can refinance an ARM or a Buydown. Both you can refinance. An ARM is adjustable rate mortgage. You can refinance anytime, and for 5 years it's lower if it's in 5-year ARM. From 6th year on it changes, right? So when you refinance the ARM, then you just refinance it and it's done. Like there is no other money credits or anything. But with the buy down, the subtle difference that homeowners might not realize is, in the previous example where the seller is paying $10,000 towards buying down, right? So that $10,000, let's say we do the 3-2-1 buy down program, and after 6 months, if the rates come down to let's say 3%, then you refinance it. Out of the $10,000, whatever is the unused portion in the sense, because out of the 10,000, the way it works is they keep releasing or offsetting for the low payment. So whatever is remaining will come back as credit to pay down the principal. So that means the buyers are not really losing. So all these subtleties the buyers have to know and understand. It's very hard for the buyers to understand the subtlety, but that is why all the builders are offering. If you go to big builders, they are offering these incentives, the buy down programs. You have to understand, okay, it's not like you are just paying points to bring the rate down. If you pay points and bring the rate down, it's going to take you maybe 5 to 8 years to make it break even. If the rates come down, you're losing it. So you don't want to pay points and buy down the rate. You have to use these buy down programs and work with a knowledgeable mortgage broker who can help you walk through these details. What do you think, Anne?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many different ways to negotiate right now. I think more than ever, picking, advisors that have the knowledge to help you do a good job negotiating. Because I think a lot of people look at real estate and think, oh, anybody could do that. But I think that if you work with somebody with not a lot of experience, you could miss out on some of these opportunities that are available.
And the like you mentioned, I was not clear on that first, but like you mentioned, the amount you pay for the buy down, it will be calculated towards your like a payment towards the house. It's not like a security deposit.
Correct.
So if you refinance, you are not going to lose it. It will be considered with the whatever amount has been part of payment.
Yeah.
Remaining will be yours.
Correct. It will go towards the principal, exactly.